All right, yeah, we have a video on you ready to go, Nick? Okay, so here we are at a Super Clear 200. We have a video on YouTube that you can watch, demonstrate with customers, that kind of thing. I think we have a couple of them that are instructional, but let me give you a quick introduction to what's going on here. So you've got basically the 3 pumps that pump in the combine, dropout, and Odergon. Okay, so these are the critical pumps that, remember, this is really unusual. We're the only chemical-driven system in the marketplace. We're the only option. Okay, you'll notice the tank is tall and is conical at the bottom. The cone shape is important for accelerating the dirt falling to a common place. If I could easily turn this, which you think you're. So basically, what happens is your dirt is going to go at the bottom of the cone. A valve is, and this thing's all programmed to do it, but the valve is going to open, taking the dirty water, the heel of the tank, away. We prefer to the sewer, but you can put it back in the system if you want. The advantage of taking the sewer is you're getting the solids out of the system. You're taking the dirt that would normally be in the pits that they have to pay for, and you're taking it away as a liquid kind of slurry. Then what happens is, remember the eye that we use in the superset tank? We use the exact same eye technology to shoot across the solution. Once the level of dirty water that's now at the bottom is gone, the eye sees clarity, shuts the dirty water valve off, and opens the valve to take the clean water at the top over to another tank. Now, there's a lot of features to this that are pretty hard to explain, but I'll go through a few of them that I can think of. The first is, it's a misnomer. Everybody learns that we get rid of the water at the bottom. The truth is we get rid of the dirt at the top too. What happens is silicones, soap scum, bubbles all float to the top. We have a stage, basically when this tank fills, the first step is that it overfills, and we basically have a de-scummer at the top. So all this yucky stuff at the top goes through that. If you turn this switch right here, depending on your situation, you'll get about 5 minutes after the reaction tank is filled, it will fill again, doing a second de-scumming application. So in truth, we take the yucky stuff off the top, we take the yucky stuff at the bottom, get rid of them, and we keep the sweet spot all in the middle, okay? That clear water is going off to make product. The rest of this is really just sort of the controls, the things that drive things. You can push a green button and restart it. Let's say you interrupt the functionality in the middle of something. The usage levels are somewhere in the neighborhood, depending on the tank, somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 milliliters of one product, 75 of the other. So if you ask and say, well, how much do you use? Of course, it's in the instruction manual, but you're talking about 100 milliliters is roughly 3 ounces, right? And 75 milliliters is roughly 2 ounces. So you're talking about 3 ounces and 2 ounces per batch, and a batch is almost 200 gallons. So if you want to kind of get an idea. Now, another rule of thumb, remember how we learned to be consultants? A rule of thumb is that the retail cost for those two chemicals is about 0.04 cents per gallon. The retail cost for Odergon to be added is roughly 0.06 per gallon. So the first thing that you should do, and this is really important, is when you walk into a customer and they say, I want to talk to you about your reclaim system, the first thing you want to ask them is, what's the goal of using reclaim? If the goal is to help the environment, if the goal is to be green and fly a marketing thing up at the front of their wash that says, we're a green wash, then really the cost doesn't matter, because their goal is to be environmentally friendly, and you're going to cost a tiny fraction of their cost for water. If their goal is, I want to save money, well, another one is, I'm being forced to, I'm building a new wash, they won't give me my permit with that one. Okay, another one, you're golden. The third one is they say, I want to save money. The important question you then have to ask is, what is your current water and sewer costs? When they give you that bill, make them go get that bill. When they give you that bill and you divide it by the number of gallons they do, let's just do an example. Let's say their cost for water and sewer is 0.003 cents per gallon, or 0.03 cents per gallon. If it's 0.03 cents per gallon, you're going to raise the cost of their water, if they're not using Odergon, by 0.01 cents per gallon. You'll add a 25% increase in the cost of the water. But let's say at my wash, I'm at 0.02 cents per gallon. I'm going to save 1.6 cents per gallon. So it really matters what their cost for water and sewer is, and we've learned it the hard way. Don't go in. Make sure that you make the expectation clear, because in some cases, if their cost for water is 0.06 cents per gallon, maybe they multiply that out and say, gosh, I'm only going to save $1,700 a year. I don't think I want to do this.
Right.
And you're a better consultant, you're a better advisor, you're a better friend to establish that. Now, I'm going to give you a little commercial here. We're probably wrong in doing what we do also because Conserve and our other competitors, I don't know their sales cycle, but my guess is they don't say, well, tell me your cost per water. Oh, you shouldn't put this in. I don't think they do that. But maybe we should, as an industry, be more challenging of what's your goal. Here's the math. Here's what you'll save. Here's what you won't save, so that you deliver. But that's how the system works. Now, the sister system would be another tank like this, without any controls, and the only thing it would be is basically a pressurized pump that's going to take the clear water now and push it to some application. Typically it's going to energize a pipe that goes to another section of the wash, and you can tap into that pipe for water on your Omni, for water on your wheel blaster, for water on your, what other parts of your wash. Any questions while we're standing here? Mike, you're back there listening, so maybe I missed something. Carrie, you're back there. What did I miss?
Nothing that I can see other than maybe talking about the valves at the bottom, the automatic valve.
Thank you.
And the transfer pump.
This blue valve at the bottom is an automatic valve that basically is controlled by the computer. So we've got a PLC in here, and those valves basically just open and close inside of there. When it needs to transfer to the dirty water, out to the sewer, it turns and pushes it out and lets it flow out to the sewer using gravity. When we're going to go to the clear tank, it shuts that valve and opens another one that goes to the clear water tank, and that pump right down there pumps it over to our clean water tank. And again, remember that clean water tank then has a pump beneath it to pressurize the rest of the wash. So thanks for pointing that out.
You want to mention about the LED sensor?
I already did, yep. So we talked about the LED shooting across, making the decision about clean water and dirty water. Oh, by the way, this is kind of like 200 level, but the LED sensor, if for some reason it were to fail, there's a backup that's just a timer that will default to a set time. So we won't be like you lose a lot of water no matter what. The default will be that you get it shut at about when it should shut. It's a pretty interesting system. The water comes out much cleaner. We showed you in there. Set reasonable expectations, though, is you're going to get cleaner water than our competitors. Sometimes it's going to come out really clear, and sometimes it's going to just come out a lot cleaner. I don't want to set the wrong expectation that you're going to get this perfect water. It really depends on the soils, the chemistry, the amount of water, where you're sucking it from. It's a requirement. Oh, this is important. We have designed this system to work assuming the wash was set up for reclaim. So we are not coming in and building pits, and we're not interested in frustrating you or the customer by trying to pull straight out of their pit. If they don't have separation tanks, if they don't have 1, 2, 3 tanks, if they don't have 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 gallons of water or storage under the ground, I recommend you let them fix that, and then you come in and solve their problem. Because otherwise, you're going to be pulling water out of a tank that doesn't have oil water separator, that hasn't separated out the bottle caps, the straws, the wood. You don't want to be sucking that into this tank. You want to go through the baffle tanks. You want to go into a wash that's been built for reclaim, take a competing unit, take it away, or go into a new install where you're going to get water that's dirty, but at least prepared for super clear or any other water clean. We're not asking for anything different than any other reclaim system asks for. This system will go in and do what they'll do, and better. So
you do need to know how much reclaimed water they're using per wash.
There you go. Thank you. That is another one. So we've got a super clear calculator. We'll go in and do that now, and let's talk about that, and we'll sort of wrap everything up together. Because if they're going into a wash and they want to, let's say they use 50 gallons per car now, it's very important to size this if they want to use 15 gallons of reclaim versus if they want to use 40, or heaven forbid a closed loop where they want to use 50, which we're going to let you have your migraine on your own, and we'll just be here to support you. So
You have a lot of these in the field?
we do have. We have, I don't know how many, but lots. So we're putting out probably 3 or 4 months now. This is a new technology, but it's been like, for example, at some of our early washes, it's been there now for 3 or 4 years operating flawlessly. So it's really a proven system.
Good.
But it is, just like Supersat was once upon a time, when we were sitting at the shows going, would you like to hear about something new? We're not the standard yet. So we're becoming more and more of the standard, more and more systems out there, more and more proven customers. people like Kerry might have 10 of them in his region already, and then some other rep might only have 2. So we're sort of growing, and nobody does anything like this. Most of the reclaim systems are filtering dirty water. They're filtering them, or they're centrifuging them. And the centrifuge idea is the heavies go out to the outside and the clean water's on the inside. You just get cleanish water. You don't get clean water. You basically get less dirty water, not clean water.
Brent, one frustrating thing for me anyway
Yep.
is like a lot of things that Blendco does is we put microscopes on a lot of things, and we really show flaws and
Yeah.
intricacies that you don't normally see, because you look at reclaim from 30,000 feet.
That's right.
We're going to look at it right here at the ground, and sometimes you set expectations.
Yeah. I think that's right.
Not even on purpose.
Right.
But all of a sudden, everybody, every day, they're looking at this thing going, okay. And then you don't need to look at it
And
every day.
they weren't,
and be
before,
intense.
typically at a reclaim system, at a tunnel wash, for example, you can tell where the reclaim's used because you'll see the skunk stripe. You'll see white walls go dirtier, 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 dirty, really dirty. And, and so they get that expectation. We don't want them to have the expectation that, I don't think we're not going to skunk stripe, but if they grab that water and want to drink it, you got to lower that expectation
So that's been
to whatever's
frustrating.
realistic.
We
Yeah.
do that with a lot of things.
Yeah, we sometimes, in our example, while it's true on separating that water, that's not a faked example. That dirty water went there. But not everyone's water is that perfect. And, that's actually a good thing. We recommend now, from now on, when you're going to do an install like this, other than a new build, is to make sure you send us a gallon of water for us to run through our lab, make sure it's going to work as well as you want, send you pictures, send your customer pictures, send you some efficiencies, whether we can improve it or not. So, okay, any questions?
Also help dial in the chemistry usage.
And that helps optimize the chemistry. It's really, highly recommend it. It's really working well. This is a big part of our future. So,
That's
okay.
an awesome lot.
Let's go. So like everything else, we like to have math, right? So you're going to plug in the number of cars that you wash monthly. Okay, so we got 3,000 here. The number of vehicles washed daily is there. Number of vehicles washed annually. You're going to fill in the gray things. So that's the gallon. That's the assumption around the gallons of water used per vehicle.
Yep.
Now this is what this is the good idea we had out there is you have to figure out what percentage reclaim you want to use. 25 is a more realistic percentage, more normal percentage. Here's the cost of water and sewer. Now, this defaults to 0.008 because nationally we think that's about a pretty good average. But let's put in 1.2. Oops.
That's really expensive.
Okay, so we've got a little bit of a higher cost. The settling time is in there because you could actually speed this up if you wanted to. You could we can reprogram it to set for 20 or 40 or whatever you want it to be. How long is the wash open? A lot of washes are open for 10 hours. Days open per month, you're just assuming the rain days. You're picking whether you want a super clear or a super clear 500, okay?
Yep.
So I'll come back to that one. You're going up here and you're saying, okay, am I gonna use Combine and Dropout? Yeah. Am I gonna use Odor Gone? Yes, but Odor Gone is typically only used in the summer months, in the hot months. Because otherwise you don't really need it. The thing runs pretty odor free most of the year. But so you can choose whether you want that in there or not. You can also, I think you could adjust this. Let's say you're using it a fifth of the time. If you change, it won't let you do it. Maybe you could lower this.
No, you can't lower any of those.
Okay, well,
It
let's-
recommends it.
So let's take this out, okay? Because so much of the year you don't need it, okay? So what your data is going to show you is you need 1,587 gallons of water based on that 25% reuse and the number of cars. Super Clear 200 will make 182% of your needs, okay? You'll save $6,000 a year in water, but you'll spend $3,000 in Super Clear. You'll save $3,000 a year, okay? Again, I think Kerry was sort of pointing this. We don't, do other companies point that out? I don't know, because the math on those wouldn't probably be very good if you were just putting one in because you wanted to. So let's go to a much more severe situation and change this to 6,000. Well, let's change it to 10,000. Okay, now you've got 385 cars a day. If you go down to the results, oops, you're going to see that you only are making 50% of the water that you needed. So that system will not keep up with a wash that large. So you need to upgrade your tank size to a 500. Go back over here, and now you're going to make 151% of your water needs. You follow that? So again, I'm so big on you just being smart inside your head instead of relying on us. Do the math. If you've got a 200-gallon tank that takes 30 minutes to operate, every hour it's going to make roughly 400 gallons. But a little bit of it gets thrown away, and a little bit doesn't fill the top. So you could basically say, okay, so every hour it's going to make 350 gallons. If you're open for 10 hours, that's pretty easy math. You're going to make 3,500 gallons a day. Now figure out what your percentage of water reuse is, and you know the answer. You don't have to call someone and be like, is this thing going to keep up, you Mr. Blenco guy? You already know your answer if you just use your head. Okay? So that's super clear. We good on that? Any questions? I know we're rushing, but we